Nice!
This must be a miracle.
Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And we're going to be taking a look at NEXZ's pre-release song, Miracle, the performance video. So I've kind of watched them a little out of order. I watched both Ring-a-Ling and The Drop already, and I know this was before all of that. So I'm pretty pumped. I do know with NEXZ, they were on a survival show through JYP, and then these are the members that won. And I believe they're all Japanese. You correct me if I'm wrong for all of that. But I've gotten to know a couple of them. I would say some at the top of my head would be Haru, would be Ken, and then Tomoya. Those are the three that have stuck out for different reasons, which is really cool. And I think without further ado, the best thing to do is go ahead and check it out. Fun. That's Haru, because I think it's because of the hair that I'm picking up on him. Fun. That guy was giving me Ken vibes, but I could be wrong. I'm trying really hard here. Oh, I love this. That was super cool. Is that Tomoya in the middle? Maybe? I'm going off of faces right now. We'll see. Nice! Nice! Nice. Oof. The tripod shots for that was really smart. It helps you appreciate how syncopated that all that mess right there. Oh, it makes it almost unrealistic because you don't have that motion present. Ugh. Golly, this is cool. Beautiful, like a little silhouette, but they use their body to help with that. Goodness gracious. Okay, a bit of a bold statement I'm gonna make here, but we're gonna analyze it to see if I can verify it on my own lens. That is probably one of the cleanest performance videos I have seen in the entirety of all of my K-pop analysis. And I've seen at this point over 300. It includes 17, ATEEZ, Dreamcatcher, NCT, I've seen Stray Kids, I've seen a lot more than that. Psychers, Boy Next Door. Man, it's hard. They get Shiny, and etc. etc. That is ooh, hold on, like that is really, really clean. Wow. Okay. Part of me wishes there was a dance practice to this. Truly. Now, some of you may be asking, Jess, why are you watching the Japanese version, not the Korean version? Part of me actually prefers to listen to versions of the tracks where the majority of the members find comfort in the lyricism of it. So I know with these guys, they're all Japanese, right? So and I'm just going off of that until I'm corrected. And so by them, a Japanese version is going to have some form of subconscious intimacy with it in comparison to the Korean version, because they're still learning Korean. So I kind of feel like we're going to have a more authentic presence with how they come across in the Japanese version in comparison, if that makes sense, because they implicitly understand the lyrics. So I did turn off the English just so I could really appreciate the movement. Wow. Honestly, part of it, yes, is from some of the cinematic choices, but that was astronomically it's so clean. So clean. Man, I may have to 0.75 it just for the verification process of what we're doing. Okay. So walking through, it's nice. I do like the fact that they go and they push his shoulders in opposition to cause him to turn. Really fun. Cinematic effect to get us here to a different location. That looks amazing. The walk, I love this ding, 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 and I love how he takes it out. It does give me a little bit of, not locking, I mean, yes, but not even an influence of it, but just the pattern that he did. It reminds me a lot of how I see people execute Liberty points, but I like it. I like how they're all taking him and then they keep turning him. And that was really fun. They're walking through to Miracle. Everything about you is incredible. I like the lift there. We're here even to the degree of how they're looking in. Everyone has it, I think, on like the same freaking finger, which is the middle finger. It's like that detailed that I'm noticing here. And they're all looking. It's just really, gosh, the intentionality. Like you can tell they spent longer on this choreography than Ring-a-Ling and the drop combined. And it makes sense because debut tracks, something that I've noticed along the trends of the marathon groups, especially whenever I'm able to have the opportunity to look in the behind the scenes, they have a significantly longer amount of time to work on the debut track choreographically in comparison to all the other tracks that they have moving forward. So sometimes you end up noticing kind of a dip in the synchronicity and it's not as crisp or as clean as, let's say, their debut is, and that's the reason why. I would say NEXZ is a great example of that, just as a group in general, where their tippy toes and mascara were so clean, but they were working on those like almost a year early than they debuted, and so they had a lot of time to make those edits and audits, and then but when you saw them in Left, Right, and in Girl Gang, those are not as clean as their earlier works. So I just man, this is like my brain, I really got to turn it on just to make sure that if I'm going to make a claim that I'm making, I got to make sure it is top tier. Here we go. So this right here, that right there, DDD, notice all the way around the range looks good. I found 2 discrepancies here, but you want to talk about the most minimal discrepancies ever. These 2 guys match, these 2 guys match, but they don't match together. So notice that he's looking with his eyes more so than he's looking with his chin. So that would be a note if you wanted to be like squeaky, squeaky, squeaky clean, like this isn't real humans clean, then that would be something to clean. Right there, they hit it, boom, da-doom, nice little ball change. But notice that the ball change happened with the first 2 guys, and then the second 2 guys added a ball change to really create a nice add-on. But then notice when the other guys come in, they're in opposition of what's happening in the first add-on. And then having my guy in the center, really nice, and everybody has the same degree of flexing of the hands. I'd say the only exception is my 2 guys who are mirroring, but because they're mirroring, it works. This is my hands reaching out to search for you once again. Love that. Very intentional. I love that ding, ding, ding. reaching with their hands for sure. And then he has a nice little head to showcase that it's just little subtleties that you can do with your head, with your hands, gestures that really help showcase your feature. Even though the cinema quality of this and the camera up really does a great job of helping us clock who we're looking for. This is, man, I like the pull in right here and then the switch up, which is really nice. The ball change. I mean, I have this at 0.75. God, this is clean. Leads me and lifts me up. I love that with the turn, and his hand caused this Ranjam effect to come in to help with the transition over into the circle. Leads me and lifts me up. I like that. Da-da-da-da. Love that choice. Of course, head would be the only thing that would be my note here. Some people are looking downcast, some are looking front, and some of them are using the elbow to drip it down versus the back, but you can tell those that are using the back, you are my destiny. Yep, I like that choice. Now this, it was a bit tricky to figure out who our feature was here, with the exception of the close-up. I believe we were meant to be. This right here, he's looking front, everyone else is looking to the side. That's the kind of stuff I was referencing earlier, that if you have intentionality with the head, it makes it easier to find your feature, because if everybody's looking one direction except for one, it's a really subtle way to know who we're looking at without him loosening or modifying the quality of the unison that's happening for the rest of the body. I believed we were meant to be. I love that, boom, the tension there as they pull it in, and then causing an opposition with your feature and everybody else to come back into a nice formation. You're the one that keeps me alive, the air that I breathe. This right here, now, very subtle. God, like, I'm utterly impressed at the fact that what I'm looking at, yes, I'm finding things, but on the scale of big things to the microscopic, I have to really put on my analytical, critical brain to find these things is second to none. For them to be a group that came from a survival show, who did not train together extensively in comparison to other trainee groups, and for some of them to have such a vast training period of dance training in general and the variety of styles represented here, this is like a low-key anomaly group. You don't get this very often, but the Gen 5s, there's something in the water with Gen 5 in general, with how they're trained, the examples that have been set before them generationally with Gen 2 to Gen 4. Of course, Gen 1, they're their own little section, and then you have, like, people call Gen 2 the golden era, where there was that hybrid of some people were known for dancing, some were known for singing, and both would be cohesive. Gen 5, it's you gotta be elite dance crew level and competency as a group, and then you got to be able to sing live. Like, it's kind of teetering in that direction. Whew, goodness gracious, this is really cool. But things that I'm finding very subtle, some people's direction of their shoulders, some of them are dripping down, and some are using the chest. So just noticing the difference between using energy between the shoulder and the chest can determine how the range looks. Noticing we go off of our feature, he's using his hand. So whatever everybody does, honestly, matching your feature energy-wise is going to be helpful, or range-wise in the actual scoop is going to make it look really, really practical, right? Bringing it through, ding, ding, do-do-do. Now, this would be another subtle thing, is you have my guy right here. He's fully extending, and others are, bringing it through using the tricep to help get it across. Some are using the full back. So that is how you can determine, sometimes, not all the time, whether or not your range is going to be adjusted as such. And also, how fluent are you in that particular syncopation. She says, I love that. Just with the faith. I really love, guys, look at the fingers. The fingers. Even to the freaking middle and index fingers, they're clean. Whew, this is really cool. Just with the faith. Mr. Popper over here turning around, that you'll wait for me. Then we have it right here in the column. As I do for you, I'm in paradise. And I like how they did just a simple step out and walking. Some of them are looking downcast, some are looking front. So that would be something to, well, now that I look, they're looking front and then they look downcast to get back in line. So I'm making that correction. As I do for you, I'm in paradise. We already see that they drop down. A mountain worth climbing. Like this right here is really nice, and he did use some sense of legato to transfer down to the hips, which was good because on the horizon, I like the connection, just that subtle tap. He's not just making two independent movements. One is doing a very subconscious trace at the bottom half of the arm, because on the horizon, I know I feel like I'm kind of repeating the lyrics because this is at 0.75, but they're making a little sun there. He's looking up to the sky. Great, you know, words to the cinematic quality here. A great aerial shot. I believed our sun would rise. And then right here, I'm assuming this is like sun, and then really fun masking effect right here. Time stops. I love this where you have everybody kind of in a different pendulum vibe, and then you have some imagery happening with the hands in the middle. He's swinging them, but look at the opposition that's happening. I'm trying to see what's happening here. Everyone's going to their, well, I say that. Everyone is going to their right, it looks like, which really works if everybody is swinging, because they're so clean in their unison. And when they break away, when they choose to all go to the right, but they're all facing different directions, as long as their range of how they start and stop is the same, it works. I see you. And notice that here is so nice. It's very intimate going off of the wrist, and there's power, but it's not too much power. It has this sense of the same thing as how they extended the hands out. He has that type of energy here. So there's a great overlap in fingerprints. Coming closer to me, ding, ding. It's very much like a breaking in, breaking down kind of progression. I love that. Ding, 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 ding with the hands very, very placed. And you have to be mindful of where your energy is in order to, and you notice I do say energy. Let me use another word just in case you may not know like what I mean by energy. It's what's your focal point and what muscle group are you engaging in order to get that particular movement to come across the way you want it to come across. It's just a step deeper into cleanliness, you know, just a generalized cleanliness. Coming closer to me, I do like how we have a, you know, it feels like a little metal cube. I like the level representation, and I would let go of all my pain. I love how he let go and he created this energy. You know, sometimes when somebody gets stabbed or shot, they have this moment where their body recoils back at the impact of what they were hit with. So that was really nice on his part to be able to showcase that, to let go of all my pain. And it causes him to throw people, and then there's twists of everybody to go down to the side. Then right here, boom, moment. One note would be, is everybody's arms the exact same degree? No. You have some people that are a little bit above their shoulder, some are right below the shoulder, some are in line with the shoulder, but that comes with sometimes your shoulder flexibility. Notice here, it's so micro, but you can tell these two, so my two right here, are closer together. He has more shoulder flexibility because you could tell he can lift those shoulders a little bit higher, but our guys back here do a pretty good job. He may have some degree of not as flexible shoulders as his counterparts because his arms are just a little bit lower. That's just an educated guess. I'm able to notice that with I think Psychers had a really great example of that with their setup. Like you can tell based on where you can peek your head through your arms, shoulder flexibility. And then right here he has a really nice moment with his arms as well. And then the moment he drops the same little cubes that we saw earlier, this moment feels like a dream. Okay, so you even notice some of them don't have their hands connected and some do. Who freaking cares? I have it just randomly pause. And even here, they twinkle it in. So it's interesting that they didn't go here, but they were here when they twinkled it in. That's way trickier to navigate, honestly. They're here, dee-dee-dee-dee, and then they have it connected. This must be a miracle. And then notice they go into different syncopated tutting positions, but they're using this hand to brush them into making it happen. Now, some of them have their arm up, some have it closer. Then they switch it, ding, ding. That is a freaking tricky triple part polyrhythm that you normally don't see in K-pop choreo in the first course. Goodness gracious, that's crazy. You and I right here, how he brings it up. And the impressiveness too is the fact is they're able to have this cut. The fact that it's so clean and they have it cut between so many different areas is very impressive because that shows a certain degree of consistency in this cleanliness because they're able to get these exact types of shots in various locations with various camera shots because these are multiple takes per location easy, right? You got aerial shots, fixed cam shots, you got, you know, your gimbal regular up in your face shots, you got like the ending fairy shots, and you have at least, I can count at least 3-4 locations alone, right? So they have to be able to, this is showcasing consistency if we can see this across the board on all of it and not just that one location, right? having this right here, boom, boom. Even right here, some of them have like a micro overshot of the elbow, but that just comes from, you know, just throwing it up versus placing it up. But it's so minimal. Every time you gaze at me, right there, they have a nice little, it's not, I wouldn't call it a crab step variation because crab step is more whole foot, but they do roll through the ball of the foot as they do that type of variation on their feet. It reminds me of God7. That's one of the iconic like Gen 2, 3 choreographies that you know. I think Gen 3 was God7. Where you saw that as like a focal point choreo, but here it's just used as like a transition step for a polyrhythm in the upper body. Oh man. Then right here, boom, dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. And then they have it every night. I dreamed of this, so it kind of feels like they're making a heart here. Goodness. And then right here, boom, boom, throwing it up and then still having their arm placed. Notice some drop it lower and some keep it in line. So that would be my note. Some didn't quite leave it the whole time. Bringing it down, boom, ding, ding, my long cherished wish. So that arm is nice and straight. Then bring it up, ding, ding. Right there, do, do, do. Even to the degree of the travel of the energy to the hips, up to the sky. I can't believe this moment. Diving it in, boom. I love these tripod fixed, like tripod means like a fixed camera point is what I would equate that to. But like these fixed camera points where you get to just have this moment here and they're just dancing in these like the corner shots. That is what makes it truly like, oh my gosh, right? Can't believe this moment. Dropping it down, melting it down and saying, oh my gosh, just went a smidgen too fast. Yeah, but the fact that they're in such similar spots to where we cut it, like literally look, ready for this? Like we're in this shot right here. They are so close to their go-to formation spot. Their spacing is consistent because that, you don't get that kind of stuff unless it's like a tripod shot and you like change costume. Do you know what I mean? That is, wow. At the end of the row, that seems endless. Diving in, boom, boom. Of course, some of them didn't have like their arm fully swung with the same energy. Like I said, same focal point. Some were elbows, some were shoulder. The end of the road seemed endless. Hitting it through, boom, boom. Love that little tap, tap, tap. Of course, you notice one of our guys. We have two guys that were a little bit too early. And they got, yeah, so it's just little, the range. The range is my one little note there for that section. Finally, I get to say I love you. That right there, boom, boom. And then they're doing a happy feet variant. And then they're taking the finger, using the chest to bring it across. Woo, through. You're so beautiful. Boom, boom. And I love it with the syncopation of and the accent of that knee. And then unbelievable, ding, ding. And they take it. Notice not everybody has, you know, so it's still debatable in my opinion. They're still really, really clean. Are they probably the cleanest? They're potentially the cleanest Gen 5 group. Yeah. At like pre-debut. This is probably the cleanest pre-debut I've seen. But looking here, yeah, some of them are a little off. Some are lifting from the knee. Some are turning that knee in, flexing from the inner thigh, and then using the outside of the quad in order to bring that leg up. Some really have that clean 90. Some have overshot it. So there's like little baby things. You're so beautiful, unbelievable. Bringing it through, boom. I love that with the little drop right there. Ding, 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 and then pulling it. And we go twinkle, twinkle into a beautiful effect. This right here is what made me start thinking, this is brutal. Brutal in like the best way. I couldn't give up. I love how he hits and they all slowly go down and then they're going to bring it up, boom, boom, really nice. He takes his hand, it goes up and then drops down. They all, boom, that right there, the range on that head, crispy clean. Like, I don't think they could have done it collectively any better than that. They lift that hand up, boom, all the way through. Certainly, baby, baby, because it has to be you. Then we go and we transition. That right there, boom, boom. Intention. This is a great example of exactly what I talked about earlier. Everyone's head's facing downcast except for your feature. Yes, everyone's doing one arm and he's doing the same thing as the back row, but he catches your attention because not just because he's front center, but because he's the only one looking forward. So it's a really subconscious way for us to look there. I love it with the sun. Like, this is a time sensitive shot because they have the sun going down, and so you can only shoot certain things depending on the sun. They cannot control the sun, you know, like this is real organic light we're seeing. And I love shots like that. And I like shots like this too, because weather does play a huge role in how color grading works in post-production, as well as, you know, certain shots just look freaking sick whenever you have the natural light at your disposal. It looks cool. Ooh, baby, baby. Some of them have it close to their mouth. Some have it a little smidgen away. Move, and they go tap, tap. This is cool. Pushing it down, up. You're all that I desire. Everyone stayed down. Some people have it really close together with their feet. Others have it a little bit more separated. All the way through the fingers. Whew. That right there, boom, boom. Notice they're going obviously different directions, and it's clear to the degree of the chest ISO that they're doing. When I think of you, I smile. Love that. Love that choice. And then they go and they make it all their own choice. That was great. That was individualized. Why? Because we know exactly what it looks like when they are all supposed to be together. They've proven that in the first minute. So they can be allowed to have some independence in some of their arm choices. Think of your smile. Because right there, they go right back into it nice and clear. I would say my Mr. Popper, I think that's Haru, right? He has his arms just a little bit slightly up. Everybody else has it at the angle it's supposed to be. They pull it in. Oh, even the separation of the fingers. That's what's killing me right now, is these details. This detail. Like those little things that you don't, normally a lot of people don't think about. They just let whatever happen, and they just talk essence and texture. They don't talk through this mechanic. That's freaking cool. I like how they're all looking in. Really cool. This was nice where he kind of, as he's accenting with his fingers, it's causing other people to respond. All my senses overloaded. And how they wave, so depending on his texture, so it's very structured what he's doing, even though it feels very individualized, because it is, but how he's hitting the staccatos, whoever is supposed to be a part of that, you know, not canon, but that response, they're matching the dynamic or the texture, which is really nice. So even here, as he did a little bit of waving on both sides, they also wave to, you know, counter and make that work. All my senses overloaded. I hope to touch you, love you, hold you. So they're doing like a little trace moment there. And it goes, hold you. I've been waiting for this moment. And then, ooh, I love that. It's just even, oof. This is, yeah, this is really, my brain is in total admiration mode here. Look at that. I mean, but even here, this is the first, honestly, the first hand discrepancy, and we're a minute 50 in. What the crap? Okay. I have arm discrepancies for like actual fingers. In time stops, they turn. I love that drop down. I don't think they ended up center there, but they cut it, so they got away with that. I love this little crawling, and notice with this camera, it is a bit tricky to catch that, but he did it big enough for us to be able to see it. I love that one. And that looks very similar to that previous one where he feels like, you know, something to do with pain, like letting go of this pain. It was more resisted here, and that's why his registered differently, because he's talking about different verbiage, so the texture's calling for that. Gazing at me just before you, ding, ding, ding. I love this energy there. Boom, I love that choice as well. Pulling it in, I still can't believe it. I love that too. Beautiful masking effect where they just cut between the two. Gosh, it's so cool. Still can't believe it. Swinging it. And then he has his moment. People come up. Throw those dice. Yeah, this must be. And then there's a little heart right there. And they're right there. It's that tripod aerial shot where they're just hitting it. You could tell he's really vibing with it. Why? Because his tongue's sticking out. That's what I do. Most dancers, when they're like, as like B.I. would do it. Pretty much a lot of dancers, when you see them like vibing with it, Alex, when you see him ringling, he got that tongue sticking out because he is vibing with what's going on. So he is vibing with it over there, over on stage, right? You know what? I'm feeling spicy. Let's take another guess. There's a guy named Seta, S-E-I-T-A. I think it's my guy in that cheetah puffer over there. He gives off a Seta vibe. Anyway, but this is Haru. Every time you gaze at me, it's cool. Boom, boom. Notice that they've turned this and they have to keep this in check while they have a syncopation, or they have that footwork happening in the lower half. They have to keep a groove going, but they can't let that influence what's going on here, so they have to cut off the energy. So it's a heavily isolated polyrhythmic moment right here. Love that right there. Hitting it through every night. I dreamed of this. Oh, boom, ding, ding, even there. I love it. He's the only one looking at the camera. Everyone else is looking down. Really cool, even with the shake, shake. Come up, super, super dope between the opposition of the camera. It's my long cherished wish. That right there, ding, ding, ding. Hitting it through, boom, hitting over. I love that a little energy over to the side. At the end of the road, that seemed endless. Love that boom, do-do-do, and pulling it through. Click, click, over and up. Love that. That's on the tonal, on that tonal color, that percussion. Boom, boom. Notice they like boom, boom. It was right there at the exact sound that it needed to be. Whoo! I love that boom. Doing a little reject influence there, which is fun. I love you. I love you. Yeah, and you're so beautiful. Even that is really nice. They're pretty good here. Notice some of them have it about right here. Some have it about right there. Very minimal. It's a range thing. So that's going to be my general note for them. I noticed it a lot more in Ring-a-Ling, more movement quality discrepancies. But here, the movement quality is not anything that I'm concerned with at all. So when we say NEXZ with actual prep of their discography, it is top tier on the synchronicity train. Like, they are clean. Clean, clean, clean. I love that ding, ding, ding. I love that right here with a twinkle, with a 3. It's a miracle. Miracle. That was nice. Look, tongue sticking out, having a great time. His are a little bit sunken in the elbows. Yep, dee. You notice he goes over, they go through. Lots of really nice subtlety that you see. That's really captivating. It showcases your feature a little bit more. Now having you by my side again, I love that choice where he has it here. They swing over. Even though you have a motion of the camera, you can still see how clean it is. I love that with syncopation with a triple. Hop, hop, hop. Love that. Digging it through. Super fun. Yeah. Good vibe, yeah? Yeah, that was a nice little vibe. And notice how it was still very clean, but they were a little bit more individualized there, which makes sense for the type of groove it is. Some are reaching and they're using the torso to show opposition. Others are just reaching, which is fine. One guy hasn't quite reached yet. And then our feature in the middle is a beginning to reach, but not quite. Yeah, but once again, individual choices. So that was cool. That was cool with the little flip of the ring. One more time, they look up. This part's cool too. Whew, okay. It kind of feels like we're on like that little racetrack, but we're on like a little podium here. They're all facing each other. Looks cool. The stomps there, they look away. Some are looking front, some are looking away. So that'd be my note. I'd say one of my guys is not looking strictly away, and he hasn't picked up his foot quite as high, and neither has he. So I would say this would be, I'm assuming this would be ideal how he's hitting it, but most are hitting it down at a 45 or even a 25. So that would be, you know, I don't even say clean it up. It's clean. That's just something that you're just gonna notice. Hitting it up, boom, hit with a tap. Notice one guy's tapped already. Did the ball change? Boom, boom, really nice. So this is where we've seen the most discrepancies, but they're once again like 1 or 2 people, and it's very, very minimal. It's he's missing a hand. His hand's a little bit lower. Everybody else is up. His is a little bit out, but he's featured, so it's fine. Every time you gaze at me, switching it through. I love that with the kick. Of course, when I have it paused, you can really tell the range in general note for them. I love that boom, boom. Notice that the energy, and they pulled it as he has this little suspension. They travel it over. I love this, where you have half of them look down, half look up, and they have it out, and then you have some that are down. But look, ooh, this is probably the cleanest range they've done today. Look at this. Oh my God. What in the world? He crossed over a lot. He crossed over standard. He crossed over standard, but he doesn't have this arm up. His arm's up. His arm's up and more forward. His arm is really forward. This is probably one of the, oh my God. Switching it through. Oof. All that's boom, da-da-dum, 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 and then they're using the ISO. There's some of them are crossing over, but it's determined. Now they're looking over. Da-da-da. Yeah, ding, ding, ding. Now the thing that I don't think people really understand is a lot of their choices. Yes, the movements may not be the most difficult movements. Like some of these are not difficult. It's the timing that they have them, and everybody doing it as together as they are is very impressive. Can't believe this moment. I love that right there. It's super cool. that point through. Love that, dropping it down. No, doing right here. And then they tapped it down, noticing they're all making the same subtle degrees backwards. Slowly come back up. I love that choice. Shoulder, shoulder, shoulder. That pull looks great. Once again, another pull, digging down. I love you. And then beautiful. I really like the subtle range happening in the upper chest. Hitting it with the rebound once again. That's just a little baby, like micro baby, you know, hand difference here. Some are looking down, some are looking out. Say just have my my popper guy just look front. Haru. Once again, ding ding, love that. Miracle. That's tricky. Dee dee dee. Oof. Swinging miracle. And they drop it down, they look up, and they look at the same degree, and I love the hand closing there. And they finish looking the same way. Wow. Is really what I would say to this. I will stand by my statement that this is probably going to be one of the top 3 5th gen pre-debuts or anything affiliated with a debut on a cleanliness side that I will ever see. This is like, ooh, it is clean. And my brain, I'm trying to just sift through all the routines I've seen, because I've seen NEXZ at Tippy Toes and Mascara. That was clean. But their pre-debut stuff wasn't that clean, really. 17, they were clean, they were full energy, but I think they had more complexity in their syncopation within the tonal colors of the track. This was really, really impressive. Thank you guys so much for taking the time watching this with me. I think this is the closest I've been to being kind of at a loss for words to the degree of execution of a group that I've seen so far on my Just Reacts journey, and I've seen a lot from when I started to now. I cannot wait to see more from this group. I can't wait until they debut just to see the differences between a pre-release and their debut and the time frame that they have between the two. I am very intrigued. Honestly, the only thing that I feel like could trump this would be more complexity and a 1-to equivalence, but to this degree of cleanliness. Like, this is phenomenal. The fact that I had to go 0.75 and the only discrepancies I found were range, but not actual movement execution, is incredible, especially despite how polyrhythmically deceiving this is. Whew, man, oh man. If you want to get in on the action and see me react to groups like this in real time, Patreon is the best place to do it. I always follow a schedule on YouTube, so sometimes when groups like NEXZ releases stuff, I'm able to get it out quickly, and sometimes it takes a couple days. So if you're somebody that wants, you know, content like this within a 24-hour span of me recording it, Patreon's gonna be your best bet. I'm Jess. Thank you guys once again for taking the time to watch, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye.